I told her like, open the door.
Police officers are responsible for protecting lives and property, and the margin for error in their work is virtually non-existent. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Here are 4 instances where mistakes made by law enforcement had devastating consequences, even resulting in death. In this first case, you'll witness one of the most shockingly incompetent moments by police that I've seen in quite some time.
Hold on, Brad.
Okay.
This was 60-year-old Lisa Edwards. Apparently, after being discharged from the hospital and cleared by the doctor, she still refused to leave. Hospital security reported that she had been a nuisance all night and felt it was necessary to involve the police. Little did anyone know, they were in for a much longer and more troubling day than they ever anticipated.
Okay, Miss Edwards. They said you had already talked to the doctor. And then you listen to me. I'm talking. You've already talked to the doctor. You've already been discharged from the hospital. They want you gone. I'm talking. I understand you say you got some problems going on. You're going to have to find a way to get out of here. Okay? I don't want this to turn into a situation where you have to go to jail. If you're looking for somewhere to go because you're cold, I'm sorry, but I'm not taking you.
No, I don't want that.
Well, they said that you've been checked. The doctors have discharged. You have no reason to be here.
I shattered my ankle and I had to go.
Well, if the medical professionals have saw you and discharged you,
They won't.
I got nothing to do with that thing, but you got to get going.
I can't even get down there.
You're going to have to figure out a way to get going.
Frustrated with the ongoing back and forth, the officer decided he had enough and charged Edwards with criminal trespassing. He called for backup, and a transport van was brought in. However, that was just the beginning of their problems.
Oh no! I can't.
Yeah, you have to.
Pull me back.
Maybe, listen, you're going to have to get up there because we're going to have to physically put you up there if not. And that's not as nice. So please help us help you.
Oh my God.
You've been medically cleared, so let's get in.
My foot's no. I can't. You're gonna break me.
Yes, ma'am, you're going to have to get
My
in.
ankle. Can't breathe.
You've been medically cleared, man.
Up to this point, Edwards had been complaining about 3 things: a shattered ankle, which made it difficult for her to stand, a stroke, and breathing difficulties. This raises serious questions about the doctor who cleared her to leave the hospital in the first place.
Oh my God. I'm out.
You do not have an inhaler, but you have 6 packs of cigarettes, ma'am.
I do have my hands.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to stand up, and I'm going to ask you to help me one last time.
The officers repeatedly tried to get her into the back of the van, but each attempt proved futile. Frustrated, the officer called his lieutenant for assistance, but this only escalated the situation further.
Listen to me. I'm not doing this with you, okay? This is the Lord. Listen to me. This is the Lord say, all I want to do is give me some coffee and some oatmeal. I'm not going to deal with your mess this morning. We've already spent too much time on you. You're going to get up here in this van, and you're going to go to jail. We're done with this. I'm tired of this dead weight crap. Put your feet up.
I'm gonna pass out.
You're not going to pass out. Well, you know what? We'll go and get in there and pass out. We'll be done with it. Because this is all a act. That's all it is. You're not going back in the hospital. I'm taking you back.
The lieutenant, not only rude and lacking empathy, also displayed a troubling level of ignorance, repeatedly insisting that Edwards was just acting. However, it was clear to anyone, even without medical training, that Edwards' condition was rapidly worsening and she needed urgent medical attention. Despite her repeated complaints about struggling to breathe, the officers decided to place her in the patrol car with the windows closed. All the while, they laughed and joked about her condition, showing a complete disregard for her suffering.
I told her like this. Open the door. Open the door. Please open it. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
In the next clip, you'll see exactly why this case stands out as one of the most shockingly incompetent police incidents I've witnessed in a long time.
Don't get back! Get back!
Despite Edwards bleeding multiple times, The officer driving the patrol car didn't notice until he stopped another vehicle for a traffic violation. It was then that he discovered Edwards unconscious. He called for paramedics, but unfortunately, she later died at Fort Hospital due to a fatal stroke that occurred while she was in the police cruiser. An investigation was launched into the actions of the officers involved, and Edwards' family filed a lawsuit against the state and the Knoxville Police Department. In this case, the officer's mistakes cost a human life. However, in the next case, an officer's actions led to the loss of an animal's life.
Get back!
What did you do it?
Ma'am, get back! Okay, your dog charged. Get back. Okay. Get, ma'am. I need you to get back. Ma'am, I need... Oh my gosh! We're
I want you everything.
Palmer, 101. Why couldn't you not? Everybody get back. Everybody get back. Get back.
This conflict took place in Ohio will be on 7 February 2023. Patrol Police Officer Elliot Palmer. I saw a woman struggling to get some. The dog he decided to get. Everyone was involved to prevent it from being present. When he approached them, he was bitten by a dog. The first dog was very friendly. It happened when something unfortunate happened. Other dogs have been charged. Palmer. The police shot a dog with a name. Later, he was discovered 4 times as a Dixie. When the dog died, * was fatal. Then by that point, the police were certainly. I knew what was coming for him.
I got you on camera. I'm fine.
Sit tight.
I'm gonna fucking pay for it.
Back up. Everybody get back.
Knowing he was surrounded and that things could escalate at any moment, the officer radioed for backup immediately.
Step out. I'll explain everything.
Backup arrived, and the officer was secured without any further casualties. He eventually had to leave the scene as the crowd continued to grow, in order to prevent a breakdown of law and order. An internal police investigation concluded that the shooting was objectively reasonable, and the officer did not face criminal charges. However, he was placed on modified duty for the time being. This is 27-year-old Sylvester Hayes, whose life was completely upended by the actions of the police. As you'll see in the next few minutes, when he was driving to get food for his children, he was stopped for a traffic violation, which wasn't an unusual occurrence. Offenders are typically given tickets for such violations. However, Sylvester's case turned out to be different.
Come on. I didn't give y'all some.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Stop.
What happened?
Stop. Right?
What am I being painful, man?
Stop.
What am I being painful?
If you let us, we'll tell you, shut up.
Right now. What am I being painful?
When Sylvester was asked for his ID, he reluctantly complied and handed it over. That single action would set off a chain of events that would forever alter his life. After checking his name, the officer asked Sylvester to step out of his car.
You got a warrant, bro.
Yeah.
Sylvester became defensive, which was understandable since he didn't know the reason for his arrest. However, what he didn't realize was that the officer had mistakenly confused his name with that of another Sylvester Hayes, who had an outstanding warrant for domestic violence. Meanwhile, backup had already been called and was on its way.
So, and I don't know all the story, but there is another Sylvester Hayes, right? So give me a second, right? And that Sylvester Hayes does have a warrant.
I'm the third, man.
Okay, so your last name is Hayes?
Hey, stop family that's behind me. I'm a smart ass. I'm much smarter. I'm an intelligent black man.
I
Man.
understand.
Come on, I just look like this, man.
Looks have nothing.
But I'm just saying how they roughing me up, how they handle me like this, like I'm some. I didn't come at them with bad body like, hey.
They'll check you out, and like what I said, let me figure out what's going on here, and I'll talk to you. Okay?
So that's whenever Reggie pulled up, and we'll try to get him out of the bar.
The officers, feeling confident that they had successfully apprehended a domestic abuser, proceeded to run Sylvester's driver's license through their database to confirm their arrest. However, they were completely taken aback by what they found.
Step out the car, sir. I can't step out the car, sir. I step out the car. I got no go. Get out. Get out. I cannot step out.
The right course of action should have been to release Sylvester and apologize for the inhumane treatment he had endured. However, unwilling to take responsibility for their mistake, the officers chose a different, much darker route. The officers misrepresented everything that had happened, but they didn't stop there. They also conspired with the lieutenant to have Sylvester arrested on trumped-up charges, hoping to justify their illegal actions. As a result of the incident, Sylvester lost his job and his home. He has since filed a lawsuit against the Dallas Police Department, citing 2 counts of excessive force and 1 count of unlawful arrest. These situations just keep getting worse. In the next case, we see a paraplegic man being brutally treated by the police. This is Clifford Owensby, who was stopped by officers on suspicion of carrying illegal substances. The police called for a drug-sniffing dog to check the vehicle, which required all occupants to exit the vehicle. But here's the catch. Owensby is a paraplegic and cannot walk. Clifford explained that he couldn't exit his car due to his paraplegia, but the police officers persistently insisted on helping him out. However, Owensby only wanted assistance from someone who understood his condition. Frustration reached its peak, and the officers resorted to an unthinkable action. The officers acted without control, treating Owensby like an animal. His vehicle was inspected, and no illegal substances were found. Later, Owensby sued the city and Dayton police, claiming they violated his rights. The city settled for $125,000 out of court, but did not admit any fault.